Well, the cloud is many different things. At a technical level, it's a centralized, virtualized IT infrastructure that's housed in a big data center like this, connected to the internet. From a consumer point of view, it's storing your photographs online rather than storing them on your hard drive. From an SME point of view, it's having your email housed in a data center like this rather than having a server in a cupboard next door to you. And from a larger IT point of view, it's an online, pay-as-you-go, flexible IT system which can be scaled up and scaled down. So what's the cloud made up of? At the ground level, it's a rack of equipment which has power coming to it in a controlled environment, and that's what we provide. You then put in some equipment, some servers, some storage, and sitting on top of that, there's a virtualized OS and some application software on top of that. That is a cloud, and it can be provisioned very quickly and quite cheaply. But behind every cloud is a data center, and that's bricks and mortar, it's power, it's air conditioning units. So a good cloud needs a good data center. Next Generation Data is the biggest data center in Europe. We have a 750,000 square feet facility, highly secure, Tier 3, which means it's very available power. And we have a substation just down the road which has 90 megawatts of power. Next Generation Data provides co-location for our customers' equipment. We don't actually offer any managed IT services ourselves. So for example, our typical customer would be someone like BT or IBM, who provide a range of managed IT services to their clients. What we do is provide the infrastructure and environment to support their equipment. It's said that the biggest barrier to entry for SMEs taking up the cloud is a fear around security, which is understandable. You're basically putting your IT infrastructure in the hands of a third party, and there is a fear that you'll lose your data. I would argue that fear is overblown. I think there's more problems of people losing laptops or losing USB drives. They always seem to be left in taxis. That's a bigger fear than a professional third-party entity losing your data. I mean, that's what they do for a living. I would liken it to, do you keep your money under a mattress or do you put it in a bank? I think there's also an issue around vendor lock-in. Next Generation Data recently signed a contract with a cloud provider, which includes what we think is a groundbreaking escrow agreement. And the way this works is that the cloud provider's customers know that if the cloud provider goes bust, the escrow agreement will ensure that we keep providing service, and it will offer them the passwords so that they can retrieve their data before we pull the plug. Yeah, IT budgets will be reduced. The number of people you need to employ working on IT will reduce. I mean, for a lot of SMEs, they have perhaps one person or one part-time person working on IT. So it's a big headache taken away. You're automatically going to be upgraded to the latest software. You haven't got any of those issues about have I paid my license fees and am I on the right version, and that's all taken care of. And it is expandable. You can just ring up and get more. And for SMEs, it's perfect. I think if I was starting an SME business today, I'd go straight to the cloud. Why not? Why set up a rack? Why worry about air conditioning? And why would you do that nowadays?
The traditional model in the translation industry is very labour intensive. It involves taking a file and sending it out to lots of different people that are involved in the process. So the file will come from the client, go to the translator, go to the proofreader, come in for QA checks, be checked again, go back to the client, for instance. With our model using the cloud, what Wolfestone does is puts the file in one place and allows everybody involved in the process to access that file simultaneously. The kind of clients that Wolfestone work with are very security conscious. Wolfestone works with people such as NATO, the International Patent Office, United Nations, these types of companies, these types of organisations, where their documentation is incredibly sensitive. The private cloud solution that Wolfestone opted for gives us a number of benefits. Number one, it allows us to control the security to the document that our clients really require. It also allows us to control who has access to that document, track the work on that document, and for us to know exactly what is going on at any one point. This becomes much more efficient in the workflow process and means that Wolfestone can deliver work faster, more efficiently, and to a higher quality. The nature of Wolfestone's cloud solution has allowed us to develop beyond being just a traditional translation company. We no longer have to work with just files and text and documents. We can now work with rich media such as audio and video. As a young Welsh company who's used an innovative approach to the cloud in order to grow rapidly over the last few years, we are now looking to replicate that in international markets, perhaps by acquiring other traditional translation companies and doing the same thing with them.